Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our panel discussion here at the ARBURG Packaging Summit. To start with, I would like to introduce my expert group today. It is to start with first Philipp Knapen of Borealis. Welcome. Next to him, Professor Dr. Hans-Josef Endres, Hanover University of Applied Sciences. Welcome. Also to Manfred Hackel, EREMA Group. Beside him, Thorsten Kühmann, German Engineering Federation VDMA, and last but not least, our host, so to say, Gerhard Böhm from ARBURG. Gerhard Böhm, the first question goes to you. When you first started to organize this these two-day summit here in your premises, did you expect it to be as relevant as it actually became in the meantime?
We started a year ago to think about what will be the major topic here in our packaging summit, and we have been on a road which was still very, very technical. Getting faster cycles, having the right machines for packaging application, talking about molds, talking about processes. And today, or after these 2 days now, I have to say it changed completely. We are discussing about circular economy, which is a new topic, completely new topic, but an important one. And we are talking about new materials and new packaging solutions. And I'm very happy that we are now in the middle of this trend, this new trend, and we can discuss about new things, new chances for our industry as well, and we like it, we love it to take part.
Thorsten Kühmann, in the meantime, you are on a track already heading towards K in Düsseldorf, and you are in contact with all the stakeholders in that. That means with Messe Düsseldorf, with the different federations, with the exhibitors, with all of them. And I think the mood has changed quite a bit in the meantime, right? So what is the actual mood among the companies preparing for K? Is there a certain kind of nervous pressure on the companies?
Like always, there's a certain pressure on the companies, but I've been experiencing K-Show now for many years. And what really is very seldom, and I haven't experienced it at all actually, that one topic seems to be predominating, and circular economy is predominating. And if you look back just one and a half years ago, the image of plastics was quite okay, and this changed in 1.5 years. And the way our industry is reacting on this is a good way, because we have to acknowledge we are facing a problem, and at the same time we have to find a way out of this, find solutions and see the chances. And that's what we're doing right now. That's a good thing, and that's happening on K-Show.
Some weeks ago my daughter achieved her graduation from her school career. And until now, she never had a clue what to do in her professional life. Since some weeks, she's heavily heading into the direction of environmental protection studies. So, Professor Endres, you are in permanent contact with young people, with students, taking this decision where to go to in their professional lives. Has plastics and the plastics industry a new image now to younger people, or might there be a disruptive time in which we're living at the moment? Are you scared to lose students in the next time?
What is right, that the image of plastics changed, in particular within the last 3 years or in the last few years, and in particular this change took place in the heads of the young generation. So, but on the other side, I'm very happy that the young generation, the young students, start to think about, start to identify with nature, with these ecological issues, and so on. And so I'm sure that we are on a way, and we have to take this young generation with us. And I think that will work. and it's the beginning of a new thinking, of a rethinking of plastics. That we also consider end of life, that we try to close the loop, that we also go behind very good utilization and processing performance, that we develop materials and products that have less impact on nature. And so I'm sure that the young generation who is faced with these issues will be the key generation who will also solve these things.
I will come back to this point later on, because these young people are our future workforce. So we have to bear them in mind, and we have to take them with us with everything we do, not only with what we have seen today here, but what we are doing in the entire industry. So we will come back to this point. Manfred Hackel, when I listened to your lecture today, I was really much enjoying that you were not only presenting technological solutions, but that was a lecture which was deeply emotional. And I think we can say that to all of the lectures we had in these 2 days. These were not engineering lectures, even though you have the skills to do so. I know that. I heard a lot of your presentations, but you did that in an emotional way. Are these times we are living in where we have to combine those two things, engineering and emotions?
Yes, I think absolutely, because on one hand the young generation, or also if you look on emotional pictures, social media, that's everything quite emotional, and I think we have to combine that. And yeah, and from my person, I'm now 24 years in this business, and there if you see how much has to be done and now it is happening, it gives sure a quite positive power inside the company and also due to the market.
Philipp Knappen, we are living not only in pressurous times as far as the public assumption of this industry is concerned, but obviously the industry, and you are a big part of this industry at Borealis, is still striving to find the right way through these times. And we've seen that in your presentation, that you're opening your scope quite a bit. So you did not say we have this technological path we are going to, but you offered various solutions. Is that a good description of what your colleagues and yourself are doing in these months and years to still orientate yourself in the market? Or are you in behind the closed doors already knowing what you're heading for?
No, of course. We're not telling anything secret here if we tell you that we have to go into a circular economy. We have to take care of the plastic which is in the ocean. We have to do something together. And we, as a virgin polyolefin supplier, we recognize this quite early. As I said in the presentation, we have been working 5 years to look into different technologies. We have the mechanical recycling technology, which we are actually today very much focusing on, and we do believe that there is a big future for mechanical recycling, but that will not only be the only one in the future. There will be more, because with mechanical recycling there is still the problem of food contact. Today we don't have food contact. Let's hope that in the future we will have food contact with mechanical recycling. There will be some solutions, most probably within this in a couple of years. But next to that, of course, as you saw in the presentation, chemical recycling, solvent-based recycling, bio-renewable products, these are all products which we have to consider. We have to consider because we cannot forever go on and take all the sources from the globe. We can't. We have to look for other sources, and waste for sure is a very good source. Waste, packaging waste, will be a source for new packaging, to produce new applications, new packaging in the future, next to all the bio-renewable source.
Gerd Böhm, at ARBURG, you have always been working together with partners in the market. So you have never been a singular company. You have always tried to not only connect to your customers, but also to technological partners on the tool side, on the process side, and so on. has the actual market situation come to a new quality? Do you feel that there is a change going on, forcing you to even increase the number of corporations you are going into?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because the situation right now is that with the new trend, with this circular economy, we have to work much closer together, because otherwise we can't be fast enough. I think it's a matter of time we have right now to speed up, and the traditional way by having quotation, giving an answer by a discussion, and this is just too slow. We have to speed up. And this means we have to work directly to each other, getting close cooperations, getting these tests done here in our environments, and have a fast answer on all these topics with new materials, and get attractive again for everybody else. That would be an answer later on, maybe to you about students and stuff. So speed means being closer together.
Thorsten Kühlmann, what does that mean as far as competition is concerned? Because I remember when you were promoting Industry 4.0 topic for Last K for 2016, the exhibitors were very keen on trying to still have differences between their technologies, because even though everybody was agreeing to head into the same direction, to have one common proposal to the market, there were still differences as far as competition were concerned. Today, when we are talking about circular economy, it almost feels as if there has to be a common approach of all the stakeholders. What does that mean in terms of competition?
Interesting to compare Industry 4.0 and circular economy. In a certain way, it is very good to compare both things. I agree to Gerd Böhm. Those are really very complex issues. One company for itself will not be in a position to solve either. May it be circular economy, may it be Industry 4.0. In both cases, the collaboration between companies and industries is the key to success. However, I'm very sure you will have a differentiation between the competitors. So the way company A or company B does circular economy will be different, but it must follow let's say a common understanding that we want to go into that direction, that this is the right way to address the issues we have. And the same applies to Industry 4.0. Every company has different ways to look at it and to serve certain solutions. But you need to have a common understanding or a common standardization laying behind that.
Manfred Hackel, in these days you are traveling a lot. I know that, and you are talking to a lot of people in the market, because with your technology, recycling technology, you seem to be in the middle of the melting pot. What perception do you receive at the moment? What is the target of the industry as far as the near aims are concerned for the next month? Because I think we do not have too much time to come up with solutions, right? So what are the targets you are faced with?
No, the targets are still from the industry a little bit different, because if I look on the brands would like to go as fast as possible, which is by brand anyway a long time, but basically as fast as possible with a new product, as we have shown today, on the market, to give a signal to the market that something is moving. By the converter side, the target is sure production cost, process stability. There's not, and there's the target to be convinced to enter or to run with recycled material. It's still achievable. And on the machinery supplier, the target is sure, not by us, but by the VDMA member, to make out of it, like ARBURG, also a kind of a business model, which is also good. But still different targets combine that everybody would like to have not the image, to show that plastic has a value, and that's only shown with circular economy. And that's then the combination how the industry at this time is working together in a very fast way. And the K-Show will be really this time tremendous with circular economy, and nobody thought about 1 year ago in this way, and it's a good signal, and that we have to take and to move forward.
Professor Andres, talking about value, you are well aware that the materials, the waste materials, have a very high value, even though they're not perceived like that. How can we educate, if you can talk about education, but how can we educate the final customer in the different world markets to accept plastic waste as a valuable material?
Oh, it's a hard question, because it's not so easy just to educate. I think a better word is to change the awareness. And that's what we are on the way to, change the awareness of the people that are involved in this industry. And if we have a look to the K, I'm sure that we have two big groups of visitors and also young people, those who are started to think about circular economy, and those people who are faced with this issue for the first time. And I think that at the end, after the K, there are much more people who recognize that that plastics have always a value, and that it's we started with the available feedstock that was bio-based. That the first plastics we developed, we used the bio-based feedstock, and then this feedstock was substituted by petrol-based materials, and now I think there is a shift. We have a shift again, that we start, even if petrol-based feedstock is very cheap, and also in the future, from an economical view, we start to shift the feedstock again, and we pay much more attention, and that we spend much more effort in recycling or reuse of petrol-based feedstock once again for another material application.
I think it's a matter of communication that we are talking about, because we heard this throughout the 2 days. There are technological miracles that the companies have already invented. So if you look at all these solutions that companies have today already, that is quite overwhelming for a technician, yes. For market insiders, yes. But for the people outside in the market, the consumers, the young people, the pupils, this is not relevant. So they have their communication levels, they have social media, they have their talks on the schoolyards. So how can we approach those people? How can we convince those people that there are solutions on the way without losing credibility, because they might think that we are only inventing those arguments to protect our today's business.
Indeed, and that's the difficulty which we have today. And if you look, for instance, on the social media, if you look on Facebook or you look on LinkedIn, we as a company, Borealis, but also competitors, or also other partners in the value chain, have been posting different kind of articles mentioning how good plastic is, what plastic can do. But if you then look, there are hardly any likes on this. And if you then look to other publicities, other things about carton or replacing plastics, there are hundreds, thousands of likes. So it's so difficult to convince these people. For sure, the K, I agree with all of you that the K will for sure be a point where all of us are coming together and we will all have the same message. Sustainability will be for sure the key message on the K, also for Borealis, but I think for all the partners it will be the key message there. But on the K, let's be honest, there are a lot of people there which are in the industry. Yes. And those people we don't have to convince. We have to convince the consumer. And how can we convince the consumer? Via social media, which we all try, and we see it is not really a success. So what I do believe is that we have to come out together. For instance, with Plastics Europe could be one of the best tools to come out, make some publicity around it, not only on social media, but also even on TV. Yeah? And then another big one, which I see here, a role for the brand owners. The brand owners are the ones which have a lot of publicity on the TV. If we can make some plastics where we can actually, packaging, where we, for instance, make a label around, where you can say, okay, tear this label off, like we had yesterday a discussion with Nico on peelable labels, use a peelable label, put a message inside from, okay, this is recyclable, peel it off, and you get, for instance, 10 cents or 20 cents when you bring it back. That could help. But it's a long way to go. It's a very long way to go.
Thorsten Kühlmann, might that be the solution? Because I have the impression that the consumers are open for solutions, are in the right mood to accept even a change in their commodity behavior. Do you think that the industry might even be willing to take the next step, not only to present themselves on a insider show, but to go to the public more openly?
First remark, I really hoped you wouldn't ask the question to me, to address this question to me.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Guido. Remark number 2, without joking, this must be the goal. What we are doing right now, to be very clear about this, is a first internal clearance. That's not more. And we are just at the starting point. K is not the end of the story. It's just the very first beginning. And I sincerely underline that our major issue is social media. Not the regular press, really. It is social media because it's so emotional. And the problem is many of those starting points of the discussions going on in social media are right. The conclusions which are drawn are not. Not all of them, but many of them are, let's say, over the top. I would like to make a very spontaneous, to propose a very spontaneous idea right now, because I'm really thinking about this whole social media emotional addressing of the public thing for quite some time now, and I feel that the pressure also coming from our companies is really getting very big. I would propose to, I mean, we've got so many bigger companies here, and many of those companies have very well-educated young people, very familiar with social media. I would suggest to bring together a small, let's say, task force of young people to discuss what possibilities have we got to find an emotional answer to those very, very important issues, because we have to speak the same language. If we fail to do that, we will never reach out. We will never reach out. But please, not before K-Show. We have to organize this in a very sincere and very clear way. But I think we have to go the route via social media and find the language of the younger generation, which I'm obviously not the right person to do that. There's so many young people who can do that.
But you know what? I felt that almost during those 2 days here at the ARBURG Packaging Summit, that there is a kind of movement going on. There is some kind of mood change in the marketplace, and with all the lectures we had in these 2 days, that was almost touchable, that there is something changing at the moment. And I think with your idea, this movement can take a next step, and I wish that we can come up with some new ideas to take the next steps. Gerhard Böhm, I think it's the first time since ages that the plastics industry is standing in the line of fire. I think you have had 10, 15 years of enormous success. And at the moment, this success is, well, in the second line of importance. Now we are dealing with this perception topic, with this acceptance topic of plastics that we all have to find answers to. how will you adapt to that? What are your plans as a huge machine manufacturer to cope with this problem?
Let's say like that. Initially, when the campaign now and the loss of image of the plastic started, we have been, we are now on the way to the bad guys. Let's say like that. That's the industry itself, and I think that's what you say, Thorsten Grimmer, that we have this consolidation on the K, where we all in the plastic industry consolidate ourselves and address and make clear that we, as the whole industry, like to find a solution. And I think that's the very important point, and communication later on is the major topic on that. And this consolidation, you know, first of all, every single company has to do something else, and that's our idea here, which was already a little bit mentioned. This is comparable to the digitalization. It's a starting point. We had 3 years ago with Industry 4.0, we had a starting point. Everybody was talking about, there was no clear picture. Nowadays, we have our road to digitalization, and it's clear for us that it's a road, of course, with only a few houses in the very beginning, and it's getting more and more and more and more. And we have the same situation with this change and this image change of the plastic now as well. We have to accept that it is fact, that we can't change it, and that we have to work on it. And we have that starting point created with a green world, ARBURG green world, and we put all these things together which make the complete plastic production greener for our customers and everybody else involved. This is related to the machine, this is related to the production, to the service, because digitalization as a service possibility, there is no service technician driving anymore with his car for 10 hours to the customer and back. Maybe we can do it by wire, via internet, to solve the problem. So this is a kind of green service. That's what we are working on, and we like to put these things together. And then there is the whole environmental situation where we take care for as well. So we have this green world, these 4 topics, and that's what we are working on with a team. And also we have the idea to put young people into such a team, because I think that's very important, and we like to address that with them. We have some ideas here already, and we will come up with a solution there.
What I liked a lot in some of the presentations that we heard in these 2 days was the honesty that some of the speakers showed here on stage, telling the people that we might even earn money with these new technologies. So when we are changing things, that does not mean that we lose our track, that we lose our mindset to earn money with that, because we are still an industry. We are still forced to earn money, to employ people, to take it to the next generation and all that stuff. You all know that. Is that the right way, Manfred Hackel, to be as honest as possible, to get the major support by the marketplace and the stakeholders in the market?
Yes, I think it's always in life the best to be honest. I think that's the long-term strategy, not only in the business, also in the private life. I think that's a human must, let's say. And in this case also, I think we have to say, quite honest, okay, yes, these are the positive side on plastic, has to be solved, that this is an issue. We are working together, these are the first steps, and we are moving constant further. And sure, everybody has to make out of it in the one or the other way also some kind of money. I think that's, we're in an industry, I think we are not Samaritans.
Honesty is the best way to do it, you said it. But on the other side, there is the automotive industry that is having some little problems at the moment, to say it like this, because they are not honest. And the marketplace is not willing to accept what they did in the recent past. And if we look at what the German automotive industry was for this country, we have to really admit that they made some major failures in the meantime. How can we avoid doing the same failures in this moment in the plastics industry? Professor Andres.
Yes, I think we are on the right way, to be honest, to accept that the plastic industry, let me say it's 5 minutes to 12, and we can have a look to the automotive industry. What you mentioned, the automotive industry was not completely honest, and the plastic industry, let me say, became honest within the last 1 or 2 years. It doesn't matter, but if we have a look 5 years ago or just 3 years ago, everything was fine, and even or always when somebody asked some critical questions to the plastic industry, we always the answer was always that plastics are amazing materials, they have a lot of advantages. So we ignored completely what's the other side, and now really the mind has changed, and I think that's the best way, and that's for me also the solution, to accept that we have to change something. And even if we say there is no solution we have no complete solution at the moment, but we start to think, we start to rethink, we start to change some things, and we are at the beginning point, but we want to change these things. We also do not accept, or we also do not believe that it's the right way. So if we are honest with this commitment, I think then also all the people on the street start to trust the plastic industry once again.
Felix Knapp, in one of my many side talks that I had today with the participants here at the summit, there was one who said, if we are open now and if we admit that we are at a starting point without having all the solutions yet, people out there will accept that. They will give us the time to react accordingly, to prepare ourselves, to bring it on track. How long will this time be? How much time do we have to keep or to bring up the thing on track?
We will have a certain time, but for sure it will not be a long time. As we
Is
said
it
already
months?
earlier.
Is it years?
Years, but not too many years. 1 to 2 years, I would say. We would have time, but not too much time. Coming back also on the honesty, I think it's very important for us to be honest, and we don't have to be ashamed. Actually, sustainability is consisting out of the 3 P's: profit, planet, and people. We have to take care about the planet, we have to take care about the people, but the profit should be there as well. If there is no profit, if we're not earning anything, we cannot develop further technologies to improve. So it's honest, but there's also logic. Without profit, you can't develop anything. Yeah? And this time which we have, I think it's very, very critical at the moment. We will have a couple of years' time to come up with something, but the first thing that we have to do is to change the perception of the people. Perception of the people today is very bad on plastics. Plastic is bad, plastic is everything what is bad, and all the rest is good. And all the rest, look to the paper industry, to the metal industry, these are all much better. But the paper industry, what have they done? They have also faced the same problems. They have faced the same problems 10 years ago, and there we should take our lessons and we should learn from that and team up together as the whole plastic industry and look together to solutions with new technologies. But we won't have years to build on this. We have to do it now fast, as you said, in the K Fair. That must be a starting point, and then we have to communicate further and try to change the perception of the people and really take the learnings from the paper industry.
Manfred Hackel.
The paper industry has even a worse situation. It was not only the recycling or the closed loop which was not there, it was also, if you look on the water, what they have, let's say, destroyed, or on the air pollution. So they had to solve 3 things: air, water, and the circular, and they could achieve it. And the second, concerning communication, if we start with all our employees, millions of employees in Europe are working inside the plastic industry. If every company is training with 5 or 6 slides the employees with some what's going on positive and in circular economy, they can give it to their children. I speak quite often with my daughter and my son, and they are writing then in social media if they see something, and they communicate on that. So we have to use also this kind of communication, which is, I would say, much cheaper than advertising in a newspaper how good plastic is, and it's much faster nowadays.
and we know that even presidents communicate like this. Yeah. Gerhard Böhm, in one of our interviews that you gave me recently, you said something that really moved me. You said, I'm a father too. I have responsibility not only for my employees, not for this company only, but for my family. And we are all family members. We have friends, we have daughters, we have sons. Does that make the difference in this scenario, in this very situation, that we are more concerned in this topic than with other technology? Like comparing again Industry 4.0, that was not an emotional thing, I think. It was a technological approach. But this is now really emotional. Does it make the difference for you personally?
For me, it makes a difference. Yes, because I'm heavily involved in young people, not just my daughters, which have now their kids as well, but also my wife is working in a primary school as a rector and as a director, and there, we learn very carefully, and every day I get a feedback what the young people are thinking about the economy right now and the situation we have. And when the young people are on the road on Fridays and talking about the future, I think we have to also get emotional, because there is something going on. It's not that old stuff we are talking about and that very fixed political situation right now. There is an emotional thing going on, and we have to adapt to that. And we have to attract our industry. I'm absolutely sure that these young people will come to join us. Not to say, hey guys, I don't want to talk to you because you are the bad ones. They have to come to us and see that if they will work together with us, they can be part of that emotional change and the positive change. And that's our key topic we have. Because we need the young generation as our employees here, as the technical drivers, as the generation who will work further with this company. And I'm absolutely sure that we are now the ones who have to move and get it attractive for the young people.
Thorsten Kühlmann, would that, or could that be something for a federation like VDMA to attract the members and the employees of the members to use those new tools to really approach the people on a different way, not with expensive newspaper articles or with advertisements on TV, but like this?
Yeah, that's what I try to describe a little bit. I think we have to go to social media stronger. And if I say we, it doesn't mean we as a VDMA, which is quite senseless. You need to have a bigger community, very convinced. And as Manfred Hackel suggested, if only the employees of our companies here in a very strong industry would make use of that and try to bring across messages, not advertising certain machinery, but the idea, then I think we could really achieve quite a lot. And yes, I'm very sure. Again, not towards K, but beyond K, our communication must be different. We must reach out to the broader community, but the first step would be the consolidation, as you said already, within our industry, then reach out, and social media should be one of those aspects. And yes, make use of the power of the industry and the many people working there. This is something I would really enjoy doing.
The name of this summit is Packaging Summit, and we are talking all the time about this plastics issue, to call it like this. And actually it has started with packaging in the perception of people out there in the market. But I see that people do not really distinguish between plastics and packaging and plastics and other applications, not yet. This could be a further threat. This could be a further problem in the future. Manfred Hackel, how can we avoid that this flame jumps over to the next building and destroys the image of other plastics in the market?
I think it is the pictures, the emotional pictures are the issue. And I think if we show pictures of medicine, sports, telecommunication, construction, automotive, there is no discussion about that we need plastics for our life, for our way of living. There's no discussion about that. And I think the risk that this jump from the packaging plastic to general plastic, I see quite low, because I think that's shown everybody, and also the young people need their handy, otherwise they cannot live. Yeah? And for that they need power, and for power they need a battery, and there's plastic in. So that's everywhere there. We have, I think, if we start to show what is possible with the plastic packaging waste in a common way, and I can only repeat it like paper has done it, I think it's quite well recognized also from the young people, and it will be positive seen. Yeah.
We have talked a lot about the power of the marketplace, the power of social media, which is rather new to all of us. That is a 10-15 years scenario that we are seeing here at the moment. So this is not really something scientifically checked, but we know that it is there. When you are talking to the big brand owners, to the big companies, how close, or how do you think the whole topic could change if, for example, companies like IKEA or Adidas or Apple would turn around and convince their people, saying, look, buy the products which are recycled? What would happen then? Is the industry already ready for that, or would it be too early at the moment?
It would be a good sign if they would do that, but honestly speaking, the industry today is not ready. As we saw before, I think there's only 3 million tons polyolefins, plastics waste which is recycled. We need to go to 10 million tons, and then we are ready, and that's in 2025. But nevertheless, we should keep on speaking to people like all the brand owners, like in Nestle, like in Danone, but also like the IKEAs, and they already did a lot of pledges. I think I saw a pledge from IKEA that there will be fully recyclable material, which we put on the market by 2020. My question is, how will they do that? How will they do that? And there are many others, but not only brand owners, not only the big brands like IKEA, but the retailers. I think today the retailers do have a lot of power. The retailers, and mainly look into the UK, where you have Tesco, where you have others which are putting a lot of pledges for end of 2020, 2025 on recycled material, on bans of certain plastics, bans of polystyrene, for instance. And these people, they are very far ahead nowadays, and we have to make sure that we all team up together and that we develop the right technology to be ready with recycled products in time.
And I remember very well the first lecture that we heard yesterday. That was Henkel, which explained to us how the marketeers are putting pressure on the product designers, that they need shiny new packages, and they have to jump out of the shelves because of their design. What if this perception changes? Maybe the marketeers change the mindset of the consumers and they ask for less glossy products. Could that be a way?
This will start to change. This will start to change. Marketing had a very powerful in the past, and for them, of course, the main issue for them was to be attractive in the shelf. Yeah, so that people who are coming in the shop, they don't have a lot of time. They just take the products which are most attractive. But this will change, and for sure, we were speaking about the young people, about emotions, and in the future, I do believe that for marketing, their role will completely change over. And today, what we see today, they are very much playing in on the perception that paper is much better. So there are already a lot of packaging articles which are on the way to change or change from plastic to paper because only of the perception. But if we can go with the true facts, and if after decay we can team up together and give a very good communication and change this perception, then for sure there will be much more in the market with recycled product with recycled content.
Talking about the K, Gerhard Böhm, what happens if people actually come to K, which have never been there, which are not market experts or insiders? They're just stepping out of the train in front of Düsseldorf K area, and let's see what the industry is offering to us. What would happen there? Are you prepared for those who are asking questions?
Yes, we are prepared. Yes, we are prepared because we have applications in combination, in cooperation with the partners here at the table, where we can tell the story of recycling, of recycling, of circular economy, which we haven't before. And I think that's the perfect news, that we now can tell a story how we are work together in that kind of in that shape of the circular economy. And so everybody coming new, stepping out of the train, coming to our booth, and I'm sure on all the other booths this will be pretty much the same, that we are prepared to tell a story.
I will ask Thorsten Kümmer, because you have been talking to Messe Düsseldorf very recently, preparing this big event. Are they really open to really tell everybody what the possibilities are? Is everybody already in the mindset of circular economy?
Every exhibitor?
Yes.
Who?
And Messe Düsseldorf included.
Messe Düsseldorf.
Bad guy. I shouldn't have asked that, but
no.
We're amongst ourselves, right?
No, Messe Düsseldorf is prepared. I see that they really want to make this happen, and it looks like they try also to go beyond K-Show, because this is a general theme which is not dedicated to the plastics industry only. Now K-Show has 3,200 exhibitors. I think I would be very optimistic to say everyone is completely standing behind that, but I would like to underline and repeat, I've never before experienced that there's one so predominant topic as on this K-Show, which is circular economy, and that is the main message, I think.
Gentlemen, I have to tell you that not only this panel discussion, but these whole 2 days were really, to me, a game changer. It's really a good feeling to see how the industry is talking to each other, how this mood change was, that not only technological, but also overall general solutions are on their way, and it's a good feeling to be part of this movement. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you so much for your presence here at the ARBURG Packaging Summit. I believe that we need to stick together. I believe that we need to keep on talking to each other. There will be a next occasion on K, and there will certainly be new and further occasions here at ARBURG. Stay tuned and come back to us. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Thanks.